What's up YouTube? Welcome back. This is Mike, the Hacksmith Mechanic, and today I'm going to be working on my E55 AMG some more. Now I've had some time to reflect on the car and the ownership and the driving experience, and while I do love driving it and it drives great, I'm not so sure it's the right car for me. I've got 3 kids, we haul a lot of stuff, it's just not exactly getting in and out easy for my family. So I've been thinking about getting back in an SUV. I've tried to find something really good and powerful, maybe a Cayenne Turbo S, ML55, a G-Wagon, something like that. But I decided that if I'm going to continue to drive the car and sell it, possibly, then I really need to continue to fix it up, the car, and make it really what it is. So we've done a lot of work. Today we're going to be doing some mechanical stuff, which is not always my forte, but I think it's going to be pretty simple. So today we're going to be changing the valve cover gasket. We're going to be changing some oil, fixing some oil leaks on the oil filter housing and the oil cooler in the front, and I'm hoping that's going to seal up the front of the engine. I took the car to Fix and Go Auto in Plano, Texas. Shout out to Kyle and those guys there. And I said, hey, I've got a few oil leaks here. Please check it out. Tell me what's going on. One of them was a rear main seal. That is not something that I'm going to mess with. So they fixed that. Thank you very much. And then the others, they said, well, we can do all this. It's going to cost you $800. I said, I'm pretty sure I can do that for, under $100. So that's what we're going to attempt to do today. And I want to give a big shout out to Alex at Legit Street Cars. Go follow his channel. He does a lot of work on Mercedes. He used to be a Mercedes tech. He had a great video on how to do this exact job. And so that's what we're going to work on today. First step of this job is remove the engine cover, which we've done and we've set over there. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be replacing the valve cover gasket on this side and this side, as well as the oil filter gasket inside here. And then there's 2 gaskets just inside here that connect to the oil cooler that we're also going to change. It should be pretty simple. There's one more thing down here that Alex did, which I don't have a great light to show you down there, but it's something on the timing chain cover that we might try to do. That would require us to remove the belt. Maybe we'll do that, I don't know. But the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drain all the oil, because we are gonna change these oil bits and open up the valve cover gaskets. I have recently changed the oil, so I'm not gonna change the filter. I probably should, but I just changed it a couple of months ago. So I'm gonna drain the oil first, and then to come back and we're gonna unbolt these. First, we're going to take the valve cover gaskets off, then we're going to unbolt that. And while I'm at it, I'm going to change that O2 sensor over there. So let's get the oil out and get going. So while we wait for the oil to drain out, let's take a look and see what parts we're going to be using here today. So we have the left and right valve cover gaskets here. We have down here, this bigger ring here is for the oil filter housing. These 2 smaller ones you can kind of see in here, that's going to be for the oil cooler, which I'll show you. This one for the timing cover port. Hopefully we can get to that one. We've got this Permatex Ultra Gray that's going to be for the breather covers. We're going to be using this I think it's an E10 Torx socket, as well as a T30 to get the breather cover bolts off. This is a 46mm nut. They're going to use this to get the oil filter housing off. Shout out to Alex Legit Street Cars for putting this link in here. This was only 13 bucks, so that worked out really good. Yeah, so we're waiting for the oil to come out, and then we're gonna start taking stuff apart. Okay, the oil is out, the oil drain plug is back in, and we're ready to start taking stuff apart. So the first thing we're gonna do is take off these coil packs. So there's these 1, 2, 3, 4 are gonna come off, and then there's 4 T30 screws will come off, and then we'll take these wires off the spark plugs. After we do that, we can take off the breather cover, which is right here. It's these Torx bolts and then a few other Torx screws, and we have these breather hoses to remove as well, so we have to watch out for that. And then we can get the valve cover gasket going. All right, here we go. We have the driver's side valve cover off. You can see the engine here. It's looking pretty nice. Look at this old valve cover gasket. Let's just get this thing out of here underneath the breather hoses. Okay, there was some concern while getting this thing off, so that thing is trash there. Put that there. So you can see a valve cover gasket here. We'll clean that up. There's the breather cover. We have our coil packs over here. And then we're gonna make sure we clean off the mating surface here. You can see there's a little bit of stuff there, but overall it's looking pretty tidy, I'd say. So I think I'm gonna clean this one and get this reinstalled before I start on the other one. Also, I may, actually, before I do that, I think I'm gonna take this apart, pull this off, get this oil cooler part out, and we'll do it all at once, put it back together. After a quick run to AutoZone, because nothing can go smoothly, I am the proud owner of a 3/4 drive and 3/4 socket extension. And this all mates up to this massive 46mm socket that we're gonna use to take out that nut right there, which is on our oil filter housing. So I just spent 88 bucks at AutoZone while this thing is sitting apart. You can see it's dark outside. Not ideal, but we gotta get this job done tonight. It may snow tomorrow in Texas, which is pretty crazy. So let's get this nut off and fix this leak. Here is our oil filter housing unit here. You can see there's these two gaskets here, which connect to the oil cooler. So we're gonna change those out, clean that up, we'll change that out, and let's go and take a look. So the guys at Fix and Go said that I was having a leak coming from this filter gasket, and if you can see, this area here is super wet. I'm not sure if you can see that, and I'm wondering if, you know, we might have some spillover. We're gonna pull this off, but if this gasket here is, oh yeah, I mean, this thing is rock hard. So we're gonna change that out, clean this up, change that out. That should make a big difference. Here's our cleaned up oil filter housing. I don't have a parts washer, but I think I did a pretty good job. It was real dirty on this side. You know, I took a look in here underneath. I can't quite get to this timing cover port that we could change out, which is underneath the oil cooler. This hose is in the way, that belt's in the way. Just can't quite get there, or I'm being lazy, one or the other, probably lazy. Anyways, I've got the new gasket in here, you can see, but it was really wet and gross underneath there. So I'm almost positive this is the main source of the leak that I was seeing. So hoping with these two gaskets are gonna connect onto the oil cooler here, and then the one on the housing, and that's gonna be sealed up nice and good. Got our oil filter housing and oil cooler back in. This is all bolted up. This was a pain in the ass because that big thread down there, that big nut, has to be screwed in just so straight. And so that took us quite a while. So let's hope you know, everything will hold. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean up these valve covers and scrape off this old gasket, get that breather cover pack on the valve cover, and then get that installed, and then we can tackle this side. This should be a lot faster now that we know what we're doing here and that this part is done. So let's get this done. Here is our new valve cover with a new gasket that fits in there nicely. I don't have a parts washer like I mentioned, so I just tried to clean it up as best I could, and my degreaser bottle wasn't working. Breather cover, this actually took the longest because I had to use a razor blade to get all this out of the channel. So I'm gonna put this valve cover on first, then I'll put some sealant in here and stick that on top of the valve cover. Just remember, before I put this valve cover on, that this O2 sensor, which you can see down here in that blue wire, I changed the passenger side one, but not the driver's side one, because it's just tough to get to, but now I got pretty good access, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that out there. Okay, quick update. It's approximately 11 p.m. I've been at this for quite some time. I had to go to AutoZone to get a new part. The oil filter housing and the cooler, that took a lot longer than I thought. And then, to be honest, the hardest part was cleaning up the valve cover and the blower cover. I'm sorry, the whatever color cover on top of that. Sorry, my mind is melted. I haven't eaten in a while. But here we are. This whole side buttoned up. I mean, I'm hoping it's good. I did have a bit of an issue getting that that valve, the cover gasket on, but I think it's good. And so I've just taken off the passenger side valve cover. That all looks pretty clean in there, and I've got it down here. Gasket somewhere here is pretty melted on there, so be good to replace that. So I'm not gonna reseal the breather cover. It doesn't appear to be leaking, and that honestly just takes too much time. So I'm just gonna clean this up and try to get this gasket on here as quick as possible, because it is late. I have not eaten in a long time, and I'm exhausted. Okay, 11:22. I finished the passenger side valve cover. I think that's probably got to be a record, especially for me. Let's just hope I did it right. I did not take off the breather cover. It was not leaking, and it was just a mess to do the other one, so I left it the way it was. But everything is back on the car. All the coil packs in, and now it's time to put the cover on. Well, first thing I gotta do is put oil in the car. Do not want to forget that. So let's just pray that oil goes in and this thing does not start leaking like a sieve. I would be lying if I said I was not concerned, but everything is buttoned up. I'm just concerned about the gaskets. So I'm gonna fill this thing up with oil and put the cover back on, start it, pull it in, and hopefully call it a night. It's about 11:30 on, I don't even know what day it is, Saturday, I think. And I'm done. Probably took me 6 hours from start to finish. I did this job because the place that fixed the RMS said that it was gonna cost $1,300 to do the valve cover gaskets and the oil filter housing and that stuff. And so I said, you know, I think I can do it myself. Am I glad I did it? Sure. Is it gonna work perfectly? Fingers crossed. And we saved 1,300 bucks, so that's great. I'll drive the car around. Hopefully it's good, but if I'm gonna hold this car for a while, this is something I would definitely wanna do. Or if I decide to sell it, it should bring extra value to the car that this maintenance has been done. So thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, like, comment. I'll see you next time.